All right, Rubus, I need you to reveal Arizona State's secret weapons on offense and defense today. Well, we've got to for the show.
No.
So what are we going to do?
It's a secret.
What do you want to do for an hour? Happy day before Friday, also known as Thursday, everybody. Welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show. I'm Anthony Totri, joined as always by everyone's favorite passenger princess. That is, of course, Erik Ruby. We've got Noah behind the Mac today, just pushing all the buttons.
Hello.
Making all the madness happen. Do us a solid, do yourself a solid. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. I love the chat going crazy before we even really start today. We got David in here, Ben, Steven,
well, you know what
Big Ten
it is.
Jed. It's the point system.
Yeah,
now.
there's apparently a leaderboard.
Yeah.
I'm number one now, by the way.
Which is
so
pretty
you know.
ridiculous, to be honest with
I
you.
have stolen the number one spot. I have 75 XP in the
I don't know
YouTube
what that
comment section.
means.
I
in
think
the
you just
realm
get
of
it from
YouTube.
commenting, and then I think you get some extra ones from super chatting. So maybe we should shout out the number one on the leaderboard at the end of every show.
Yeah.
That way we encourage
down.
people
Let's
to
do that.
comment.
Let's 100%
we will
do
shout
that.
out the number one live chatter on the leaderboard at the end of the show. Right now, we'd be shouting out myself.
And again, I want to clarify. I have no idea to answer your question, Ben. I have zero idea how you get like XP and points. I think potentially it's through super chats or commenting. This is we've never seen this up until today.
I think it's just commenting. Don't spam. But
I mean, unless it's like good, like
that's a good spam.
Yeah,
like these guys are really hot. Like they have great takes.
Yeah, would that really help you?
Yeah,
like,
that'd be awesome.
You need that.
That'd
in your
be
day?
great. Yes, please. That's how you get a shout out on the show.
Also,
boost my self-esteem.
Big Ten Jed. From now on, I'm just going to treat you as if you are Jedfish from now on. So I'm going to just start calling you Coach from now on. Anytime you hop in the chat. Next time we have Dilly on the show and you're in here, I'm gonna let him know we got Jedfish in the chat. We'll see if he's got any thoughts or comments on that one. We do have a fun show planned for everybody today. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, I just want to say that I'm currently winning the snake draft that we did yesterday in terms of best letters.
Is it close?
It is not. It is not close whatsoever.
That's rough for me.
You guys, are you in second, Noah? Wow. You guys, your approach, I think
Noah
was pretty
is not
bad.
In second.
What? Your approach to the draft was pretty. I mean, let's be honest, it was pathetic.
All right, buddy.
But
I
expected more. I'm gonna be frank with you guys. I expected more from Noah.
How
and
do you
Rubus.
feel about fumbling drafting ASU? You did AS and then you went E. You actually spelled a word. You spelled assert.
You doesn't play well with others.
I should have drafted FUCK.
I mean,
that would have been awesome.
Do you need to talk to somebody?
I would have won.
Yeah, potentially.
No, I don't need to talk to somebody because our number one chatter in the chat, Erik Ruby, says, Erik, you are so awesome.
Wow.
So I'm feeling pretty good. Chat's been really nice to me today.
Are you done gassing yourself up?
I'm feeling I figured since I'm not sharing the secret weapons because it's a secret.
You are going to share today's...
How else are we going to fill the next 55 minutes if I don't gas myself up?
You are going to share your secret weapons. But before you do that, okay, we're going to share some kickoff times with everybody in the chat. Those are not a secret. Arizona State and the Big 12 did announce some of the kickoff times for the Sun Devils this season. Now, not all of the kickoff times have been announced, but we do have at the very least 4 to 5 games for you guys, starting, of course, week 1 when Arizona State takes on the Northern Arizona University Lumberjacks at Mountain America Stadium on ESPN Plus at 7 p.m. Arizona time. So shouldn't be the craziest weather in the world, I feel like, for a 7 p.m. kickoff in August.
I mean, it's still going to be like 100 degrees.
It'll still be hot, but I don't think it'll be anything
direct
crazy.
Sunlight, which is nice.
Yeah. And we've seen this feels pretty standard of a kickoff time for Arizona State over the last couple of years.
7:30, even as late as 8 if you're like the Friday game.
Yeah. And I don't know about you. There have been times in the past where Arizona State does play on like that Thursday or that Friday to open the season. I don't like it. I like opening the season on a Saturday.
Was that Saturday?
Last year, I think, was a Saturday. I think the year before that might have been on a Thursday. But I'm a big fan of, like, if we're not playing week 0, let's play week 1 on a college football Saturday. Like, let's have it go that way.
Yeah.
Also, love the fact it's on ESPN+.
Yeah, ESPN+. I wouldn't say this is a game that's going to garner a ton of attention, of course, because it is NAU. But being later on a Saturday, if ASU dominates, there should be at least some domination of the timeline as well. There should be, again, we mentioned the disrespect, and we'll talk about the disrespect for the next couple of months, but there's going to be so much more coverage about this team. Maybe not in a video game trailer.
We'll get to that a little bit later.
But there's still going to be a lot more coverage about this team. And so having that night slot on ESPN the first Saturday of the year.
ESPN Plus.
So we don't get... No, but just having that night slot on ESPN Plus and just having, it'll be more of a standalone game, but again, you're playing NAU. So.
Yeah, I think Arizona State, as long as there's a number next to their name, they are going to 100% get traction, which is going to be huge. I love that the Unafraid show with is commenting and saying when I accidentally comment from the brand account. That is funny. We appreciate everybody hopping in today. And then you get week 2. Week 2 at Mississippi State. You're in SEC country, but it is going to be a 4:30 p.m. kickoff Arizona time. So a little bit earlier for Sun Devil fans. That is also a Saturday game. And this one you're playing on ESPN
Yeah,
too.
You're playing SEC. This is your first of the season. If you dominate them, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
This team is here.
I think regardless of that result, it's Arizona State is going to get love as long as there's a number next to their name. I don't care if you're playing NAU, SEC country, like teams.
As soon as if they drop out of the top 25, then people will just be like, oh, never mind. They weren't real, blah, 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 blah. So let's just not do that, huh?
Yeah, let's not do that.
Let's not do that.
Whatsoever. And then you get back to Mountain America Stadium week 3 on a Saturday, taking on Texas State. This one is kicking off at 7:30 p.m. local time. This one's on TNT.
Interesting.
That should be an interesting game.
Is that something that's new this season?
I have no idea.
Because I don't know if I'd ever heard of a TNT college football broadcast.
And then I think HBO Max. I think like that was weird. Part of it. It's a weird.
What's going on with that? Man?
I don't know, but I'll take it.
I want us to go back to like having 5 channels. I'm really tired of all of this. I want 5 channels.
Very old.
Yes.
You want to go back to cable?
Yeah, but like. We are basically a cable now. It's just like separate streaming services, so it's more expensive.
Yeah, just give it a year.
Can we just go back to having 5 channels, please?
I mean, you don't have to subscribe to everything.
I don't.
You don't?
I don't.
Well, I'm happy for you.
You know where I am subscribed?
Here?
Yes.
PHNX Sports?
That's right.
You're one of the 40-something thousand?
Yes. I've also hit the like button on this video.
That's good.
And I've rated 5 stars on audio.
That's
but
huge.
Under a pseudonym. It's called... The Passenger Princess is awesome. That's the pseudonym.
Oh, my
Whoever's
God.
driving, though.
Really creative, man. Really, really creative. Moving on to another game that was announced for Arizona State. This is going to be a Friday matchup. TCU comes to town September 26th. Kickoff at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. This one is on Fox. So Arizona State getting a Friday game against a conference opponent, a relatively good conference opponent in TCU. We'll see if the Horned Frogs can stand the heat when they get here in September.
That's going to be all billed as Leavitt versus Hoover. That's going to be what that build-up is.
I mean, that could
Fox.
be a sneaky. I mean, I guess not a game day because game day I feel like
it was a Friday
games.
too.
Yeah. So look, I think that's going to be a big game.
Sneaky game day is Baylor ASU to kick off.
Depending on kickoff time. I wish I had all the kickoff times.
Yeah,
that way
it's so weird how. There's just a couple and they're all from different networks and stuff. It's just strange.
It's just like announce some of these other kickoff times so that I can plan the rest of my life.
You just want to know the Texas Tech kickoff time.
I just need to. I've got other things going on in my life that I would like to be able to plan things around, but I can't because we don't get kickoff times until, sometimes the week before. which is the most annoying thing in the world.
Yeah, that is crazy.
It's just silly.
We're going to get all of the games except for Texas Tech for you. And they're going to keep that one up in the air.
That'll be a game that they can flex.
Oh, for sure. You're going to be like, oh, it works. And then like 2 days before.
That needs to just be, I'm sorry, it needs to be a 9 a.m. kickoff.
Ooh.
It needs to be a 9 a.m. kickoff.
Here?
That's a here game?
That's a here game.
Oh, no.
That's not happening, dude.
That's going to be a night game.
That's a night game.
If it's a case, then it's going to be you. It's going to be you and the deli man doing it.
Who is going to be driving me? How can I be a passenger princess?
Shane will drive you.
No.
He'll drive you.
I don't trust Shane to
Or
drive
you
me.
can get your license and drive yourself.
No. I would never do that.
You never do that?
I would never drive a show.
Well, you need to figure it out, okay? Figure it out. Same thing that the Arizona Wildcats need to do. They need to just figure it out. They play Arizona State on Friday, November 28th. That is, of course, the last regular season game of the year for the Sun Devils and the Wildcats. More than likely, probably the last game of the season for Arizona. No postseason for the Wildcats. That game will be on Fox. The kickoff time is TBD, but normally those two teams play during the day.
Yeah, that'll probably be like an 11-15.
Yeah, between what 11-0 Arizona State and
0-11.
0-11 Arizona. Yeah, that could be fun. Kevin's behind the Mac, just chuckling.
Kevin,
he loves it. He loves it.
Quick. How many games does U of A football win this year? 6. Going bowling. Okay. Congrats.
Yeah.
Call them triple B's. Bowling,
the Alamo
Brett
Bowl,
Brennan.
baby. The Alamo Bowl. That's the dream. Yeah, that's the dream. You heard it here first. That's the dream for dream Arizona Wildcat fans.
Is bowling.
6 wins.
Yeah. Reach for the stars. Yeah. Shoot for the moon. You might end up among the stars.
Oh, my goodness. I love it. Guys, again, make sure you hit that like button, you hit the subscribe button, and you drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Of course, as the kickoff times continue to get announced over the next few weeks, months, etc.,
years,
of course, we will have them for you on social at PHNX_Sun Devils, and then here on the podcast as well. Rubus, I'm going to ask you a very, very important question. I need you, first off, fix your attitude. Okay.
Wait, can you say that again? Say it again.
Rubus,
yes.
I need to ask you a very important question.
Oh, hit me.
Okay. Would you like to get into the secret weapons before or after the first break? Now, look, there are pros and cons to this.
Yeah, lay it down for me.
If we do the offensive secret weapons first, then we'll get through it and we have to take a break. We get to take a break.
Right.
And then we'll do the defense and then another break, etc. Or we could take a break now and then we might be able to just kind of get through all of the secret weapons before we have to take a break.
Knowing how we talk, we probably won't be able to do that. You know, it might just be good because I'm excited to hear from our sponsors. So
okay, so we'll get to the secret weapons then on the other side of this quick break. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm here to tell you about our friends over at Circle K.
This is what I was waiting for.
Of course, America's thirst shop. Look, Rubus, another big question for you.
Okay.
Are you a member of Inner Circle?
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, then you know exactly all of the rewards and deals you're going to get over at Circle K. You're probably sitting at home. You're wondering, just how do I sign up? And does this take a significant amount of time? The answer to that question is absolutely not. You go to the App Store, you download the app, you enter your email and phone number, and that's it. That's all you got to do. You're enrolled in Circle K's free membership program. Next time you pull up to the pump, you're going to type in your phone number and you're going to save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups every single day. After that, you guys can save money. They got other promotions for Inner Circle members. Of course, you can get 79-cent Polar Pops. You can get 3 for $5 on Gatorades and Gator Lights. They've got so many deals over at Circle K. Make sure you join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for details.
Hey, driver. Let me know if these sound good.
Okay.
Restaurant deals.
Yes.
Mobile phone protection.
100%.
Telehealth access.
Yeah.
Identity protection. Loan rate discounts. Offers on travel and events. Any of that sound tantalizing
it all sounds tantalizing.
What if I told you that your checking account could bring all of those into your life?
I would say there's no way, Jose.
And I would say there is a way, Jose. Make my style your lifestyle at Mountain America credit union, because they're committed to helping their more than 1 million members with 100 branches throughout the West, of course, all over here in the Valley. Everything that I just mentioned, plus more, for a checking account that works for you and has perks just for you. Make My Style your lifestyle. A Mountain America Credit Union. Visit macu.com/mystyle to apply. Insured by NCUA. Membership required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no cost registration and activation. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply.
We've got Coach Fish in the chat
saying that it's rigged. The leaderboard is rigged. See, people are just they're mad at my greatness. They're saying no way.
Mad at your greatness is kind of crazy.
They're saying no way can you be hosting the show and number one on the community leaderboard.
If Rubus is number one at the end of this,
it's embarrassing.
Then I'm not gonna shout you out.
Why not?
We'll shout out whoever's atop the leaderboard.
All I want is your
here.
validation.
I give you my validation.
That's all I want is your validation.
I work with you, Rubus. We're peers here. We're equals. Okay.
Now I feel validated. Now
is that what you needed to hear? You just needed.
No, Coach is saying that I'm rigging the system. Of course, I'm number one. Listen, don't hate the player, man. Hate the game.
Yeah.
Comment more. Comment better.
I guess.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a diehard.
Maybe it's because you're a diehard.
And if you're not a diehard, Coach, and I know there are a couple diehards in the chat.
I love it, Coach.
You can become a diehard. It's our flash summer sale, and it is ending soon. Intro offer of just $36 to the start of the summer. Become a diehard today. Get a free t-shirt. Go to gophnx.com/intro to get that t-shirt. Get access to our diehard Discord, exclusive audio and video content, and ad-free experience on our website. All of the locked articles as well. Maybe we'll start putting in crowns. Maybe you can get crowns for being a diehard.
I have no idea again what the crowns are. I have no idea, but you should definitely become a diehard. Go phnx.com, click the diehard tab, hit the button. If this is your first time being a diehard, again, that is a hell of a deal. $36 intro.
It's basically free.
Come on now with a free t-shirt.
I would ask anybody who's not a diehard to ask one of our diehards. That's a crazy comment.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what, you won't get your money's worth, Steven.
Steven with a crazy comment.
If that's the case, yeah.
If you're not a diehard, ask a diehard if it's worth it. I think you'd be hard pressed to find somebody who says.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, you do have to open up a little bit today. You're gonna have to give your secret weapons.
We're getting vulnerable.
You are. We have to get out our secret weapons before Big Sun Devil comes for us and takes us down. Okay.
What's going on? Is there something I need to know about?
These are top secret.
Do we need to talk?
These are top secret. Okay. Top secret weapons for Arizona State. We will start on the offensive side of the ball for Kenny Dillingham's squad. Of course, Marcus Arroyo calling the plays. Rubus, who is the secret weapon on this ASU offense in 2025?
Drum roll, please. It is.
I was never good at drum rolls.
Malik McClain.
The tall guy.
You know, before spring ball, I said everybody's going to be talking about Malik McClain at the end of the camp.
You have been pretty big.
I was
Malik.
pretty high on him, and to be honest with you, I'm a little disappointed with the fact that the people weren't right. It was a lot of Jaron Hamilton. Right. And I think understandably so. But it does feel like people are forgetting and sleeping on Malik McClain. And this is the type of guy who has the physical buildup and the mental buildup to just be a big play machine. And of course, you didn't get to see it during the regular season last year. But once you came into the postseason, the Big 12 championship, the game against Texas, you saw two massive big plays in big moments. And he made those plays happen. Right. So I think that he might not be their go-to every single down weapon, and maybe he won't be the most used either, but I think he's going to have some of the biggest moments and some of the most exciting plays for the season just based off of pure physical ability alone.
I mean, the opportunity's there.
For sure.
Right? Like, this is a guy, when we got to day one of spring practice, we're immediately looking at the wide receiver room. You know what you're getting in Jordyn Tyson, but who is starting at that Z spot, right? Like, who is opposite of Jordyn Tyson? Is it Malik McClain? Is it one of the transfers? We know now that Jalen Moss is going to be primarily a slot wide receiver for Arizona State. At least that's what it kind of feels like. So that leaves Malik McClain, Jaron Hamilton, maybe some of these younger wide receivers to step in. Yeah. Of course, you got Akeem Lineu that you added this spring portal cycle. Does he maybe fit in there, right? Because Malik's no longer the tallest wide receiver on this roster. You got a guy that's 6'7". So I think when we're talking about Malik McClain, this is a guy who didn't play a ton last season, still needed to get acclimated to the playbook. But when his number was called in the postseason, right, the Big 12 championship, the college football playoff game when Jordyn Tyson was out, I think Malik stepped up. Now, I think there was still some room for him to improve. I think one specific play was, I believe, the college football playoff game. He had a big first down catch, I think, on like 3rd and long, and then immediately got penalized for taunting after that, right? So, like, those are the types of plays. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Those are the types of plays that when you're a first-year player at this university, maybe you can get away with. You can't get away with making that same mistake this year, right? Because this is a deeper wide receiver room. There are more guys that immediately are capable of going in there and producing.
Absolutely.
So I think that opportunity is certainly there for Malik. And I think with Sam Leavitt at quarterback, the sky is really the limit for this kid.
And we always try to guess what the order of operations will be on offense. And there are some things that we feel very sure about. Of course, that is that Jordyn Tyson is wide receiver 1. Wide receiver 2, I think, is still up in the air. Right, you can go and you'll say, probably Jalen Moss at this point is the most steady option. Maybe Jaron Hamilton
in terms of production,
right? And especially coming off of last year, played a lot more football than Malik McClain.
He's played just a lot more football. Period.
You could look at Jaron Hamilton and say, more of a blue blood prospect, even though Malik is closer to that coming from Penn State.
Yeah,
but of course, an Alabama commit, a former 5-star speedster, right? Maybe that is who really emerges as a wide receiver too. I think Malik McClain can be in that conversation. And until I see him on the field prove me wrong, I'm going to stand on that. Now, he could be the 4th wide receiver and could be the 5th or 6th offensive option as far as targets go when you add in tight ends.
Yeah.
But if you're potent and we're talking secret weapons, he's the type of guy that when you're trying to throw it downfield like you did in those 2 games, or when you're trying to make a big play happen, and with this type of coaching staff and the offensive minds of Marcus Arroyo and Kenny Dillingham, he's going to be used somehow, some way.
Yeah.
And if you're able to utilize that and get the most, pack for your punch, like that, he seems like the perfect embodiment of that. So I do feel like there's a lot on the table for what he could go and what he could grab. And with this team, they've proven that if you play good, you will play. Like there is not preconceived notions where Jaron Hamilton, Jalen Moss, and Shimon Mateo are going to be the only ones getting targets outside of Jordyn Tyson. If you're good and you're earning it and you're making plays, you are going to be more involved in the
best
offense.
Players play at Arizona
and
State.
I think Malik McClain has all of the tools mentally and physically to establish that. And so with how little people are talking about him, I think it's like a perfect storm of you've been in the system for a year. Now, you're not new. You made some big plays. You'll have some chemistry with Sam Leavitt, some chemistry with the rest of your wide receivers. And while he might not be the tallest anymore, he is the tallest and the biggest of ones that I feel comfortable playing right now. I like LeMahieu, but I'm just not looking at him as somebody that I'm realistically figuring into the rotation.
And I think that's a totally fair assumption. David Buck in the chat saying, how has Noble Johnson done since the transfer? He's a guy that really, I think at the start of spring ball, maybe got a little lost in the rotation, in the shuffle of things, but he had a really promising end to spring ball. I was really impressed with what Noble Johnson did in those last couple weeks. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think last year he was a true freshman. He was a young player, didn't play a lot at Clemson, so it might have been a redshirt season for him.
No, it's true freshman.
Is that what ESPN says?
Yeah.
Don't look at ESPN.
That's
ESPN
fair.
doesn't really get their stuff right. Look at the Arizona State actual roster. That'll tell you what year he is.
Oh yeah, sorry. ESPN said that he played for Auburn.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Also, I want to just fully acknowledge here that like we are now in a position heading into year 3 where we're talking about transfer wide receivers, and we're not talking about, and this is, I want to make it very clear, this is no offense to guys that have come from smaller schools to Arizona State, right? Because they've proven that they can go out and have big years. You obviously got Jordyn Tyson from Colorado. You've gotten dudes from Idaho State. You've gotten wide receivers from small schools.
He did redshirt,
right? So you go.
He's a redshirt sophomore.
Take that, ESPN.
Come on, ESPN.
I don't think
your
ESPN
crap
has the like redshirt.
I thought they
stuff,
did,
but like, and again, I want to make that very clear. Those players, and you can go to small schools and be successful, talented players, 100%, and then transfer here and do big things. As we've seen, but we're now in an offseason where we are talking about who's going to be wide receiver 2 for the Arizona State Sun Devils. And our trio of players that we're talking about, Erik, is a Penn State wide receiver, an Alabama wide receiver, and a Clemson wide receiver. Those are the 3 wideouts that we're talking about. And that's just something that you didn't have the luxury of talking about years ago at Arizona State. I know this fan base gets it. They know it. And it's really, really cool to be able to sit up here and have this debate of like, okay, is it going to be the Clemson guy? How's he look? Or is it going to be the Alabama dude who's got jets for legs? Is it going to be Malik McClain, the Penn State giant, right? Like that's something that Dilly is brought over here in just a couple seasons, really establishing this place as a winner in year 2 and hopefully doing that for beyond. Like that's just a really unique part of this whole program. So at this point,
sorry, but apparently there is a Noble Johnson that went to Auburn.
Is there a Noble Johnson that went to Auburn? There's no way.
And I was completely joking about that. And Glenn in the chat says there was one that went to Auburn, but I'm not seeing it.
That's, something. That is something.
Yeah, I'm not seeing.
Maybe
Auburn.
It's spelled differently.
Maybe.
Steven says, "I'll take my crown, please."
Wow,
with a
Steven
199
with the super chat.
We appreciate you, Steven.
Let's see if that changes anything.
It doesn't.
I'm
You're
still listed at
I don't know
1.
why that is. I'm actually number 9 on this list. I do think commenting impacts it though a little bit.
Yeah, but I've stopped commenting and I'm still number 1.
Yeah, I don't know how.
I don't know, Steven.
You're currently tied
chat.
for 1 though. So is Doug Allen too. He's tied for first.
Yeah, but you know where the tiebreaker
Hey, if you're
goes.
all tied, then we just have to go with all of them. We have to read them all. But there's currently 6 people.
I think Steven takes the crown because I think the tiebreaker's got to be super chats.
I guess we could do that. I guess we could 100% do that.
Who's your offensive secret weapon?
I'm heading to the backfield. I'm going to go ahead and give Raleek Brown a little bit of love. I think this is a guy that when we're talking about Arizona State, I thought was maybe the best transfer addition for Kenny Dillingham's squad last year. He didn't play a ton, dealing with a hamstring injury pretty much the entirety of last year. Not sure how much he would have gotten on the field anyways because of the way Scat was playing down the stretch. But this is a player who, formerly a wide receiver at USC, at Arizona State, he wants to be a running back, right? He wants to play in the backfield, but he can kind of do it all. You can line him up in the backfield. You can line him up in the slot. You can line him up as a wide receiver because he's such a uniquely gifted player. And we know Marcus Arroyo and Kenny Dillingham love to do stuff pre-snap with these players that are really versatile, right? You saw it last year with Malik McClain. You've seen it at times with Jordyn Tyson. And I think Raleek is he's on a little bit of a revenge tour this season, right? Didn't play a ton as a USC wide receiver, transferred to ASU. Let's play running back. Okay, wait. I got hurt. I'm not going to play for the entire year. And now everybody's kind of glided over him. Everybody's talking about Kanye Udoh. Everyone's talking about Kyson Brown. Heck, people are talking about Jason Brown Jr. And that's all fine and well. Those are all really talented running backs that I think could have a big piece of the offensive pie this season. But Raleek Brown is a player that should, in terms of production out of the backfield as a pass catcher, he should lead this team in receptions. He should lead this team in receiving yards as a running back. And receiving touchdowns as a running back. I don't see anybody else in that running back room that realistically should have more catches, receiving yards, and touchdowns than Leak. Like this is a guy that is a veteran in college football at this point. He is going to be a problem for linebackers to guard. You simply can't defend him if you're a linebacker because of just the twitch that he has. He's got a really quick twitch to him. And when he's, running some of these routes, man, he runs them crisp like a wide receiver because guess what? He was a wide receiver, right?
Yeah.
So it's certainly going to be a problem for some of these Big 12 linebackers to figure out how you stop this guy.
I am fascinated by what Arizona State is going to do with Raleek Brown this season.
Yeah.
Because you're right. He has not been at the forefront of people's minds. And he certainly has the tools to be.
Yeah.
Now, last season was tough because of the injury, and then he played a very little bit, and it wasn't the fit. It was, okay, let's try this again next year. There's a lot more room for him to be involved this season. There's a lot more room for him to use his skills. And I also think as a personality as well, he's a very uplifting presence on the team. And so if he is as involved as he might be able to, how much is that going to help everybody else play to their best abilities? Plus, keeping defenses on their toes. Like 3 very different running backs in Kanye Udoh, Tyson Brown, and Raleek Brown.
Yeah, I mean,
very, very different.
Not just in their style, but in their build.
Yeah, in their build, in their style, you know, in their skills. I mean, it's like not from a skill level as then one's greater than the others, but they look like 3 evolution stages of Pokemon, right? Like Raleek, Tyson, Kanye.
They're all just legendary versions.
They're all
of
legendary
each other.
versions of it, right? You know, I was about to nerd out with some Pokemon stuff. But
were you a big Pokemon guy?
Oh yeah,
I know I was too. Honestly,
dude.
I'm not even gonna hide it.
Dude.
I loved Pokemon.
Huge, absolutely huge.
I think, in all honesty, and this was maybe something as a kid. This is totally off the rails, by the way. As a kid, it was always like, oh, if you could have like one wish come true, I was like, I would wish Pokemon were real. Yeah. And then you get older and you're like, that would be terrible for society.
Well, not in the way that it's set up in the show, though. Like
no,
show,
absolutely not. They're cool. They're cute little guys.
Yeah,
like,
they're fine.
It's a vibe, right?
Yeah,
they're like
I was huge Pokemon guy.
No, Pokemon.
I mean, could you imagine my reaction when I saw a Pokemon Ruby in the store?
Yeah.
I mean,
it was marketed just toward you.
Literally, I was like, I need this. What's your favorite Pokemon?
My favorite Pokemon? It's probably changed. My favorite Pokemon as a kid was Bulbasaur.
Oh, so you were a grass type kind of guy?
I was just a Bulbasaur guy. I don't know what to tell you.
So would you always pick the grass type?
I just always picked Bulbasaur. There was like, I had no care or ties for anything. I also loved all of the EV evolutions.
Oh, the EV evolutions. Yeah. I was always
total nerd
I was a fire type kind of guy.
Yeah, I can
myself. See it. Shout out Blaziken fan.
I mean, great. I mean, a fighting fire type.
Infernape. Yeah. Oh God. Okay.
Wow.
Anyway.
I just want to rip Pokemon.
Dude, honestly.
Pokemon podcast? Or are we, like, what are we doing here?
PHNX Pokemon?
Oh my goodness.
Sounds like something that we could have done like 3 years ago.
Steven saying his favorite Pokemon was the Gengar, baby.
Shane has a Gengar little keychain.
Little keychain, yeah, that's cool.
PHNX Sun Devils, #1 Pokemon podcast. Glenn with a $5 super chat says U of A blows.
They do, Glenn. They absolutely do blow.
Ben says I walk away for 5 minutes and we start talking about Pokemon.
I mean, see what happens, Ben. You have to.
Everybody drop your
favorite Pokemon
in the chat. Me and Steven are just talking crap to each other in the chat. He says Erik Ruby is a big chicken, so that tracks.
You're a big chicken?
Yeah, because
is Blaziken a chicken?
Well, because like it's like Torchic, which is like the small. Okay, all right. You know who's probably punching a hole through a wall now? Donald.
Yeah.
Our beloved diehard
let's
Donald.
Just get to the football part.
He's like, shut up. That's fair. Start talking about Raleek Brown again.
Well, look, we've talked Raleek. We've talked Malik. Definitely on top of dropping your favorite Pokemon, drop who you guys think is going to be the offensive secret weapon for the Sun Devils. I saw some answers in the chat already. I believe Glenn said that his answer is Raleek as well. I know somebody earlier in the chat was talking about AJ. I think AJ is too mainstream now.
I don't know. I think he's very mainstream for like us, but we are not like. Nobody is talking about AJ outside of people who are like obsessed with Arizona State.
Yeah,
like casual Arizona State fans who show up to game 1 are going to have no idea who AJ is.
Well, they should.
I'm not saying they shouldn't.
They should,
but we
won't. Actually just posted a reel today on Instagram about Senor Ia, who's just going to be who's just going to be an absolute dog for Arizona State in 2025. He's not gonna.
What if he's just a total dud?
He's not gonna. Yeah. And if he does, I'm going to be very, very upset.
Will you do a Marcus Douglas tattoo bet with AJ?
No,
like
he's
AJ
too good.
Gets
he's
10
too
touchdowns?
Good. He's absolutely too talented for me to have that bet. We'll see. Well, the next time Kenny comes in here, him and I will have a conversation, and we'll see. If he,
I wonder what Kenny's favorite Pokemon is.
We'll ask him.
Yeah.
We'll ask him when he's in here.
He's kind of like a Pokemon.
He is kind of like a Pokemon.
Yeah. Well, his sound would be like dilly.
That one even got no one to laugh line, Mac. I love it. Let's go ahead and move to the defensive side of the ball.
Why don't you start this time?
Okay.
You made me expose my secret first.
Okay. Time. It's not. We're not exposing anything.
Expose yourself, Anthony.
Okay. Well, sure. Whatever you say here. I'm heading to the front 7 with my pick. Give me Elijah O'Neal.
And Donald's back in.
Probably Donald's favorite pick here. Elijah O'Neal coming off the edge for Arizona State. This is a group In terms of the edge rushers for the Sun Devils, you talk about Prince Dorba. You talk about Joshua Shanklin, the new addition. You talk about Albert Smith, some of the younger guys. You talk about Clayton Smith. Elijah O'Neal seems to always get lost in that shuffle. But this is a guy who, Kenny said it, and a number of media members kind of agreed that Elijah O'Neal was maybe the most improved player for ASU last season. I mean, you talk about a guy who's played a lot of college football. He's 6'3", 245 pounds. In 2023, he had 11 total tackles with just half a sack. So how did he grow in 2024? Well, he had 29 total tackles, 4 sacks, which is huge. But this is another big one. 5 pass deflections for a defensive end at Arizona State. He's got his hands up at that size. It's going to be huge, especially when you're playing smaller quarterbacks who are trying to get rid of it maybe a little bit quicker. Shout out Noah Fafita, right? You're trying to bat down these balls. And I think when we talk, and this is mainly a me thing when we're talking about the defense, is like, I want to see Arizona State sack the quarterback more, right? Yeah. Like if you ask me the one thing that frustrated me most about this defense in 2024, it was the lack of bringing the quarterback down. They would get to the quarterback, but at times we would see it. I mean, how many times last season where it's 3rd and long, they're there, they're in the backfield, they're making the QB uncomfortable, but they're finding ways to still get it off because we're not necessarily, maybe we're not in our rush lanes. Maybe we're not tackling the way that we should be. And I think going into this season, Elijah O'Neal picking up that extra year of eligibility.
Yeah, that was really big.
It was.
The JUCO eligibility thing was massive for this team.
And huge for the depth at that specific position, right? You obviously brought in some new players, but still to be able to really return your 3 guys off the edge from last year, I think is big. And Elijah is going to be, I think, even better in 2025 than he was in 2024.
And pairing that alongside some other hopefully improved players along the line, then there is a chance that they are a lot more potent at doing what you want them to do and pressuring the quarterback and getting to the quarterback this next season. That JUCO eligibility rule was
huge.
Not a lifesaver for ASU,
no.
But if you needed some reinforcements at a position,
you got him.
That was probably the one that you needed it at, and keeping Elijah O'Neal was massive with that. I'm very excited to see what he's able to do. Apparently, Bees is now #1 in the chat.
Really?
How did that happen?
I think so. And bear with me, or I could be wrong. I think some of this has to do with previous super chats.
But I've never super chatted. You've never super chatted?
No.
Why would I super chat?
Not a single time.
I can just say what I want.
Yeah, I guess that's valid. I really have no idea. Bees is #1.
We're all tied with 75.
I don't know how you get more.
Here's everybody who's tied with 75. Bees, me, Steven, Coach, David, Ben, William. All tied with 75. That's 7 people.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know how you get more XP.
Should I super chat?
And just see?
I can make you say things with super chats.
I can just not read it.
No, you have to. It's a super chat.
That doesn't mean I have to read it. If there's something vulgar in there,
no.
I
would again make you say like very nice things to me.
You act like the moment we get off this show, it's like spit on you and slap you across the face.
You're like, another terrible show from you, Rubus.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Steven saying, per the XP thingy, community leaderboard and XP, what's the leaderboard? A place for fans to stand out in the community. The top 3 get special badges in the live chat. Resets every stream, so you can always try again. How do you get on the leaderboard? You'll need to collect experience points or XP.
This is too complicated.
Here's how you get them. Send them live chat messages. I don't know. Bees in all caps, undefeated.
I'm out.
Never lost.
Bees does love PHNX. Bees is in like every chat. So many of y'all who
Bees
are in
is a PHNX legend at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. Time for you to expose yourself.
All right.
Who do you got as your
chat.
defensive secret weapon?
Watch out, chat. I'm about to expose myself.
Clipping that, by the way.
Adrian Wilson.
Boogie.
Not the Adrian Wilson that decommitted.
Yeah, different
Not the
one.
Adrian Wilson that played for the Cardinals. No, the Adrian Wilson that was a defensive back at Washington State. I think a very underrated piece in this secondary. Joining his former teammate in Xavion Robinson, he is going to be a redshirt sophomore this year. His redshirt freshman season at Washington State, he appeared in all 12 games, started 5 of them, made 47 tackles, 2.5 for a loss, 3 pass breakups, and 1 forced fumble. I could go through everything he did on multiple games. He is just an overall solid player who contributed a lot to Washington State last year and now entering Brian Ward's defense. And we saw how seamless of a transition it was for a player like Xavion. Having Adrian Wilson, I don't really expect him to be on the same level as a Xavion or a Keith or, some other players in that DB position, but I do see him being as a very solid rotational piece, a great player that can step in case of emergency, in case of an injury, whatever it might be, and possibly at 6'1", 206 being somebody who can be a more mainstay piece in that rotation defensively. We mentioned getting the quarterback is something we wanted to see this defense do more. Yeah. I think forcing turnovers and being disruptive in the secondary is something they did really well last year. And Adrian Wilson, I believe, will certainly fit that mold.
You know why I'm proud of you?
Why?
Because I think you're a year early on Adrian Wilson.
Thank you.
I think you
put me back at number 1 on the leaderboard.
You are a year early. And I think, like you said, this kid is going to be a really nice rotational piece to have. Still a good chunk of eligibility left. And when you look at what Arizona State is going to have at the safety position heading into next year, well, we're talking about Ghost gone. We're talking about Xavion Alford gone, right? We got 2 starting safety spots that are going to be wide open.
Keith might go to the NFL.
If he leaves. Yep. Montana, if he leaves, he'd have to have a pretty marvelous season.
He'd have to have a great year.
But regardless, this is a kid that I think could really impress this coaching staff, the fan base, when he gets onto the field in 2025, and so much so that maybe we're talking about him as a starter in 2026, right? Familiar with this system, somebody that produced at a young age at Washington State. And can you come in here and learn from arguably 2 of the best safeties in the Big 12 and eventually earn that starting spot maybe in 2026? So I'm proud of you, Rubus. You've come a long way in your Arizona State football prowess over the years.
It is just such a 0 to hero story.
It really is. It really is.
I've always been an ASU fan, but my football knowledge has not always been where it needs to be.
You're like my sous chef.
And I'm just I'm so deep and sickoed out right now with all this. I think about how much I know about the Arizona State football team, and I'm like, ooh.
It's gross.
It's almost unhealthy.
It's gross. Yeah. I could probably just recite knowledge about it. And I'm going to be I actually forgot about this until now. So a couple weeks ago, I told you about when I was laying in bed. And
yes.
I thought, yeah. This happened again.
Finish the statement. Well, when you were laying in bed,
I was laying in bed, and I was I couldn't go to sleep, and I was just sitting there thinking about Dilly and where he's going to take this program and this team. This is 100% the truth.
Yeah.
And last night I was honk shoeing very quickly.
Okay.
I had a dream about ASU football.
Oh, did you?
I did. It was an in-game. It was at a game. For some reason, there was bleachers. It wasn't the normal stands.
Okay.
Bleachers. And this is so strange.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Kanye Udo was running the ball.
Heck yeah.
Tyson was running the ball. There was an end of the game stat graphic, but it was just it was I don't know if it was us, if it was who it was. We'll see if this stat line comes true. Kyson Brown actually led the team in rushing yards in the dream.
You have the stats?
He did. No, dude, I swear. He had
the stats
2 carries for 87 yards.
It was in your dream.
I swear to God. I swear to you this happened to me. 2 carries for 87 yards. Kanye had 3 carries for, I think, 42 yards around it.
Come on, dog.
I am not joking with you. I am dead serious that this happened to me last night.
Were you in the stands?
I was in the stands, but anytime they were on offense, the defensive players would come sit in the bleachers. Justin Watley, I was chopping it up with him. It's
jeez.
Yeah, man. I don't know what to tell you. Arizona State runs my being. And it's sometimes evidently based off of my subconscious, not healthy. But that was my dream. So if there's ever, I guess, a prop bet that you guys want to make on rush yards for the first game,
Kyson had 2 for 87?
2 for 87. And Kanye had 3 for 40 something. But that was pretty much that's everything. They won the game. So, but the stat totals, I couldn't tell you everything else that happened.
Those are the two that stick in my brain, though.
I'm so sorry to the audio people who keep hearing us like reference the community leaderboard in the YouTube chat.
Is there a new one?
Steven has moved into sole possession of number one.
Sole possession.
100 XP.
Wow.
For Steven Weiss. It's about time. Sharon shows up, says, I missed part of one episode and everyone all of a sudden has crowns next to their names. What is happening?
Yeah. I don't know. What
Bees is demanding that Sharon needs a crown next to her name. Can show up late to the shows if you want a crown next to your name.
Is that
I'm in third, by
truth?
the way.
Is that truth? Like you can't.
I mean, I just think that you start off. Listen, Sharon has 25 XP, right? That's down there with the likes of you. So that's not where you want to be.
You don't want to be down there with me.
You don't want to be with the likes of Anthony
slumming
Totri.
it down there in the bottom of the leaderboard.
No,
but yeah, that's the latest on Totri's Arizona State Dreams.
Nice. And the secret weapons for Arizona State's offense and defense. Is there a name for either that you feel like was in contention before we hit our last break here for your secret weapon for either side of the ball?
In contention that we didn't obviously roll with?
Yes.
I think Jalen Moss is somebody that I have been big on since he transferred here at wide receiver. I think he is going to be a lot of fun for Arizona State fans. He's going to be a true number 2 in that slot spot. He played a lot of college football. I really like what he does. Defensively, I think Justin Watley's another name.
Jacob Kingaika is a name that's been floated around in chat by
100%. 100%. These are all, and again, I think we're in such a unique position now talking about Arizona State where you can have multiple options.
Breedlove or
Nyland?
Either of them? It's just such a deep room.
It is, and I don't think Breedlove is I don't think he's gonna beat Montana for that nickel spot. But I could be wrong. Right?
Jesus Gomez.
I mean, that's sure. I'll take that.
I want him to not be a not so secret weapon. I want him to be a very public weapon that is reliable.
Public weapon number 1, Jesus Gomez. I'm here for it. I'm also here to talk about EA Sports College Football 26, potentially some March Madness changes.
They fumbled it.
They did fumble it. We're going to talk about that after our final break. Guys, Noah doesn't always produce this show, but we had the pleasure of having Noah a day after he decided to dip into some pure edibles.
Wow.
He was telling us all about his experience prior to the show. No, I just want to confirm real quick. It was a great experience. You had some pure edibles last night.
It was wonderful, and I ate all of my kitchen.
Listen, I'm a little offended by Noah for not reaching out to me.
It's unbelievable.
Didn't even text me. He was talking about how he was texting Damon and Kevin. Not me.
You, not Rubens.
Not me.
Look, guys, pure edibles.
It's okay. He'll never leave me.
He was talking about the fact that he had some kicks like last night, which they pretty much taste like candy. It's Pure Edibles version of Starburst. They've got the chews, which are like soft candies. They've got hard candies. And I know your favorite part about Pure Edibles, they don't just taste like weed, which I know is a big problem for edibles, but they list the effects on the tin: sleep support, uplifting, etc. So you know exactly what you are getting into. Make sure you go find yourself some Pure Edibles products from one of the over 130 dispos across Arizona.
One of the best things to do when you're on some Pure Edibles is a nice floor
little floor lay.
But you don't want to lay on this bad flooring.
No, absolutely not.
That could ruin your floor.
Quality floor. It could ruin your back.
It could ruin your life.
Yeah.
Don't ruin your life. Go to Empire today. Get your free in-home estimate. Get installation as soon as the next day with clear, upfront, all-inclusive pricing. Don't get lost in those big box stores that simply don't care. It's the opposite with Empire today. They're going to get you the right flooring, the right color flooring, the right style of flooring for your house because they're flooring experts. Flooring. That's like they're a Pokemon. Flooring. Listen, schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better off at home. PHNX listeners can receive a $350 off discount when using promo code PHNX. That's right, $350 off discount with promo code PHNX. Restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday.com/PHNX for full details.
Glenn with maybe the best answer for a secret weapon, saying the fans can be the secret weapon this year if they all donate and activate the Valley. 100%. I think Dilly would say that that's the right answer for the secret weapon for Arizona State this season.
Me as a kicker.
You as a kicker. No, they've got a kicker this year.
Yeah, it's true.
They've got.
I missed my chance.
You did. You missed your chance.
I really should have recorded a highlight.
You fumbled the bag.
Yeah,
you should have. We should have done that. We should have 100% done that. Maybe next year. We'll see what happens.
Maybe we need a kicker again next year.
Talking about fumbling the bag here,
dude.
So there is pros and there is cons. Do you want to do the good or the bad first?
I'm all negative.
Okay. Well, then we'll do the negative. EA Sports College Football 26. The trailer was dropped. We'll get to the pros, which for me are some of the new features in the game here in a second. But the one thing that I do have a gripe about, which I think you also are a little irritated with, is there was no mention or photo or video or anything as it relates to Arizona State in the trailer of that game. Now,
don't worry. Cal was like
Cal
3 seconds in.
The
Don't worry about it.
got in there.
Insane choice.
Maybe they just wanted to show you a bunch of lousy programs. Maybe that's what it was.
You can turn these programs around.
Yeah. Years past, right? In last year, you had the Sparky, you had the Pitchfork, you got to see the players run out next to the Tillman Tunnel. There was nothing this year.
Which is like Sam Leavitt and Ken Dillingham are on one of the covers.
I really just wanted to see, like, I would have sufficed for just a still image of Kenny Dillingham in the game.
Or they should have like a coach celebrates with fans storming the field option.
Yeah. They should definitely have a fan storming the field.
For sure.
I don't know if they had it last year, to be honest with you. I don't remember. But they should have that this year. And that, I think is going to be maybe a little bit more bulletin board material for this squad. Of just like, hey,
that's a good team. That's what the type of stuff that Kirby Smart would do over at Georgia.
Think about it. Like, we just won the conference. We're on the cover of the damn game, yet we're not in the trailer anywhere.
But Cal and the University of Arizona.
It's just, I don't know why EA Sports hates ASU. It's weird. Steven saying August 30th can't come soon enough. Absolutely right.
Different Steven. Not number one on the leaderboard Steven.
It is wild to me that you didn't get any mention or video of ASU in that trailer. I know Jalen Strong quote retweeted it and said, how could you not show like sunny, beautiful Tempe in there? But it is what it is. We'll obviously, I think, get more videos and leaks and all that fun stuff before the game comes out July 10th. Obviously, I think we'll do an entire show at some point on what we feel like the ratings should be this year for specific players, kind of like we did last year. We'll do a PHNX plays pretty much immediately when that game comes out. Like, we'll do a lot of content around the actual game.
You will do a PHNX
You're right.
plays.
I will do a lot of content around the game.
I am bad at that game.
I will do a ton of content around that game because I think it is a lot of fun.
I think it's fun, but I just suck.
Yeah.
On the 24-hour stream, it was pretty embarrassing.
It was something. But again, we were playing at like 3 or 4 in the morning at that point.
That's when you're supposed to be like your best at video games.
No.
I was locked in on 2K.
I'm past my prime when it comes to staying up at 3 or 4
What's like the latest for you?
Depends on it. Is it on a school night? Or are we on a school night here?
Come on, dude.
Are we on a school night?
How old are you?
I am.
You did not just.
Oh yeah,
you did not just say on a school night.
It's a school night.
You mean like a night before work?
School night. School night.
You want to keep talking about
last
Pokemon?
night? I was in bed. I was asleep last night by 9:30.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine.
And I woke up this morning at like 7:10.
I cannot imagine being in bed at 9:30.
Yeah, 9:30.
I don't think I could physically do that.
You have to get acclimated to it.
I
was in bed by like 8:45.
My brain, my best ideas are late at night. Like I am my best self at like 2 a.m.
Really?
Yes.
I am not. I might be my worst self at 2 a.m. to be honest with you. I'm also the type of person, like, if I'm up, especially early in the week, if I'm up on like a Monday till midnight, I feel like my next 2 to 3 days are ruined. Like, in all honesty.
Oh yeah, no.
Like, I am not doing well.
I can't do that, man. I can probably count on one hand the amount of times this calendar year I have fallen asleep before midnight.
Yeah, it's gross. Sleep is important, Rubus.
I try, dude. I've tried. I have tried.
Maybe you'll get better at video games if you go to
I'm
sleep
good
early.
at video games. I'm not good at that game.
No, not at that game.
But I am good at video games.
Well, look, despite snubbing Arizona State from the actual trailer,
I want it on the record. I'm good at video games.
Okay. EA did improve some things when it comes to EA Sports College Football 26. So here's a look at some of the new features that fans can expect in the game. You're finally going to get cross-play in Dynasty mode, which I know a lot of people are really, really pumped about. You got an Xbox. Now you can play with somebody on PlayStation. I think that's going to be huge. There's also 160 new school-specific chants. So that should be fun. We'll see if Arizona State gets any.
I heard the U of A one is Fire Brent Brennan. Fire Brent Brennan.
Yeah, potentially. That would be awesome if that was in there. They've also changed transfer portal in Dynasty mode. You can now have some decommitments, and the transfer portal is expanded. I believe there are now like 1,000+ players in the transfer portal every single offseason, so that should be fun.
Yeah.
Light shows are in the game now, and by light shows, they've got like drones now that can literally fly above the stadium and do like logos and stuff.
Spelling out fire, Brent.
Yeah, there you go. You're going to get an intensified stadium pulse. So for those of you that played this game last year, obviously if you're on the road, if you're playing a ranked team, if you're playing in a big-time game, the screen will shake, right? So now the screen will shake even more intensely. There might be some clock stuff that goes on where like they take away the actual pre-snap count to maybe have some early delay games or whatever. That should be interesting. There's a new high school road to glory, which that was a big gripe for fans in that first game, is that you couldn't do the whole high school road to glory, which you could do in the 2014 edition of this game. There's now 300 real coaches in the game. Kenny Dillingham, Brian Ward.
Let's go. That's the big one.
Kenny Dillingham, Brian Ward, and Marcus Arroyo are all going to be in the game. So that is going to be a lot of fun for ASU fans. There's also 2,700+ new plays. I want the swinging gate in this version of the game. It wasn't in the last one, so give me the swinging gate or give me death. And the offline team builder is now in EA Sports College Football 26 as well. So it is certainly going to be, it might feel like a whole brand new game, to be completely honest with you, some of the new features. I know Rubis maybe is not the biggest fan of this game.
I don't dislike the game. I don't think it's a bad game.
You're just not good at it.
I'm not.
Have you thought about practicing?
I'm not a football game kind of guy. I also only
You're just not a football guy.
I still don't have a new generation console. So
I spent way too much money on a console to play this game.
Yeah.
The first time I went to it's free ad Friday soon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pre-free ad Friday.
Yeah. So
let it rip.
I went to Best Buy.
Okay.
When this game first came out, last year's edition, and I didn't have an Xbox at the time. So I go in and they've got like the big
2 free ads.
They've got the big version. Yeah. And they've got like the little version, right? Yeah. And in my mind, I'm like, I just need the little version, right? Like,
sure.
This is the only game I'm probably going to play. And I go in and that version is like maybe a couple $100. I'm like, sure, I can wheel and deal $300-$400 on this. And of course they're brand spanking out. Like you can't get it. So
they're brand spanking
out. I have to get the big version. And the big version, which included the game, thankfully, was like $700
for an Xbox.
For an Xbox that included EA and didn't come with a controller. So I was
out like
$800. I love college football. I love the game. I still have the Xbox. I now play 2K on it pretty ridiculously.
We need to run it back on 2K.
Yeah, we do.
Again, I am still rocking my old PlayStation 4.
I just can't believe you got an Xbox over a PlayStation.
I've never been a PlayStation guy.
That makes a lot of sense.
Better in every way.
I've just never been a PlayStation guy. I grew up on the OG Xbox. How am I supposed to make a switch at 27 years of age to PlayStation? That feels like Jordyn leaving the Bulls and going to the Wizards. That's what that feels like.
No, it feels like something that's the opposite of that.
No, I disagree. David says he'll trade a PS5 for some merch.
I just messaged him, hit the DMs. We'll speak. We can hash that out.
Oh my goodness, I love it.
If anybody wants to send me a PS5, I'm all open to that.
For merch?
Should we start a GoFundMe?
No,
or just for free?
We shouldn't. I am a real gamer, Steven. I'm not kidding you. I play video games just about every single night. And me and my brother have a 2K Dynasty that we play very, very religiously.
Yeah.
And I think we're on year 8 now of that franchise.
Yeah.
I just want to say Ja Morant's jersey is hanging in the rafters of the San Diego Surf Arena. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It's really a beautiful thing.
I'll play a lot of 2K right now. I'm playing, we're going to really nerd out, Jedi Survivor.
Wow.
Dude,
wow.
Great game.
I'm playing the
first one?
No, I think it is a...
Fallen Order is the first one. Jedi Survivor is the second one.
How's it start?
Huh?
How's the game start?
The first game of the first, the very first one starts on a scrapyard planet.
Yeah, that's
okay.
What
So you're
playing.
doing the first one.
Yeah,
it's a great game. Those are 2 of the best games of all time. I'll stand by that.
We're nerding out here,
dude. I love nerding out.
I do.
Don't get nerd out enough.
I do too. Guys, make sure you hit that like button, you hit the subscribe button, you drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. On your way
Steven
out.
did end up number 1.
Yeah, we do
I came in second.
We have to shout out
125
Steven.
XP. David, who's going to give me a PS5 for free.
Steven and David, I feel like they're the only ones that crossed 100, not named you. So they 100% get shout outs for this. Steven, again, ending number 1 with the crown, 150 XP. You are there with a 125, and then David also with 100 in the top 3. Love to see it. This new crown system might be something special.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this plays out.
Guys, that is going to do it for the Friday Eve episode of the PHNX Sun Devil Show. If you enjoyed today's content, if you love video games, if you hate
you're
what we
a nerd
do,
like us,
regardless, give us a follow at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You could follow what they call you earlier, the big chicken, at Erik Ruby. That's Erik with a K. And you can follow Noah somewhere on the internet. Guys, in the meantime, we'll see you tomorrow. Go Devils and peace.
We all silly like the mayor.